I love us, thank you. Last year I gave up smoking. This year I want to give up my job.
So, if you're giving up something, what is it that you are? In other words, I don't want to be on this vibrational grid. So what vibrational grid do you want to be on?
Play. I want to play. I want to have fun.
Does one discount the other?
Seems that way to me.
Let us hear you. In other words, we'll take you at your word, and we acknowledge that you are the creator of your reality, and we can hear and feel what it is you want. So what we want you to do is begin making some statements. We'll figure out where they are, and if it is prudent and beneficial to you, then we will encourage an increase of focus with the intention of increasing the momentum about that.
Okay. I live in a beautiful place. I want to be in it, in nature. I want to...
because it makes me feel...
because I think it would be exciting.
Because it makes me feel...
Because
when I'm there, I feel
excited and connected and free.
And not bound.
Not bound.
So even though you were reaching for a high flying grid vibrations, where you are is feeling bound.
Amen.
And that's why you want to quit your job. And you can't get there from there.
I understand. Help me.
So, do you think that you can shift your vibration all at once? Do you think that we can spend enough time here in the rest of the time that's remaining today to re-establish a vibrational momentum within you? And does it need to happen right now?
I have created 2 months paid leave from my job in which to move my vibration so that when the 2 months is over, I don't have to go back to work.
But you see, when you talk about what you're not going to do, you jump right on that disc about what you're not going to do. So right away, you want to start talking about what you are going to do.
Okay.
And how it's going to feel. You start.
It's going to feel free. I feel...
When I'm not working, I feel
awesome. I feel like... I feel free. Do
you feel focused?
I feel relaxed.
Do you feel focused? Because it's only focus that gets momentum going. Relaxed is not focusing. Relaxed is stopping the momentum from unpleasant focus. But can you get focused about what you're talking about? You haven't practiced it yet.
Right.
In other words, you've been practicing, and most people understand, you've been practicing what you don't want.
Right.
So you really got that wheel going good. And so you've really got that momentum going. It's really strong, and everything is actualizing around that. So the ideas that come around that. But can you focus on what freedom really means? The freedom to choose what you want to do. What does that feel like? And what evidence of that do you have?
So I've been off for a week or two, and I do things that I love to do. You know,
like what? You focus on what kinds of things?
I make food that I love to make. I read cookbooks.
You came here.
I came here.
You're making choices about what you want to do with the time while you are here. There's a reasonable amount of focus. Tell us more. We want to feel some momentum begin. And we kind of have you on the hot seat because it's not easy to all of a sudden get momentum going, but you can.
Tell me how to get started.
By focusing on what you want and then focusing there for at least 17 seconds until another thought like it joins it. What you're reaching for is a focused thought that represents freedom, that isn't about not having to do what you don't want to do, because that's where you keep jumping on.
So being outside, being in nature, walking in nature.
But our question is, does a job keep you from doing that?
No, that is my job, but that is actually my job, but not so much in nature, but in the town. But I have to pay attention when I'm at work to work. And I want to be
That sucks.
outside.
I want to be the indeliberate creator of my own reality. I want somebody else to just look in my vortex and figure out what's there and just give it to me. And when it comes, I'll observe it and I'll like it. But this momentum stuff, I don't want any part of that.
I'm lazy. Is that what you're saying?
You've trained your focus into what you don't want. So you have a strong vibration going about what you don't want, but that disc is holding you there because law of attraction says this is how you feel a good deal of the time. And so these thoughts match that, and 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 these thoughts match that. And now this impulse matches that, and this impulse matches that, and this impulse matches that. So really, in some ways, we're asking you to do something that most are not able to do. We're asking you to jump discs because you have a groove here. You have a habit of thought that is here. So now let's go general about that. Well, I don't have to figure it out all at once. And I am a good focuser. And when I get hold of something that is important to me, I'm able to focus upon it. I've seen evidence of my focus. That's why I'm good at my job. That's why people want me to continue doing it. I'm a good focuser. And I know that I have the ability to focus in any direction I want. I'm just wanting to be more clear and focus more deliberately on what I really do want. I say I want freedom, but what I'm actually feeling myself focused upon is not having to do what I don't want to do when I don't want to do it. I don't want other people telling me what to do. Now, those statements come really easily from you. And those conversations come really easy from you. You have so much information about how that feels doing the job that you do. And you're surrounding yourself with others who pretty much feel the same way. And so you've got that momentum going. So I want to break this momentum, but I can't break momentum because there's no exclusion in this universe. I've got to ask this momentum to subside just by not giving so much attention to it. And I've put myself in a really good position. I have 2 months where I really don't need to push against anything. I've put myself in a position where for 2 months I can exercise complete freedom. I'm going to pretend like this is a permanent situation. And I've given myself a very good sort of leeway here. I'm really proud of myself for the leeway that I've given myself. And I'm looking forward to that leeway that I've carved out, getting enough momentum going that then the next logical step and the next one and the next one and the next one comes. Mm-hmm. I really do believe that I can play my way through life. I really do believe that I have the ability to focus on things that I want. I've selected enough data, sifted through enough data that I know the things that I prefer to do and the things that I don't prefer to do so much. I like focusing. I don't ever want to stop focusing. I just want to feel like I get to focus. And in my work environment, it feels to me sometimes like others are doing more focusing about what I'm doing. Esther and Jerry loved being in the RV parks with so many cars that were towed behind motorhomes. And there was a very common bumper sticker on those cars that says, "I go where I'm towed to." In other words, the car doesn't feel that it has much choice. It just gets hooked on, and whoever's driving the bus is deciding where it's going. And in many ways, you all feel like that. You go where your mother told you to. You go where your job dictates. You go where society dictates. And all along, feeling rebellious about it, feeling not free about it. But now we've spent enough time, just in the hours that we've been together, to convince you in reasonable measure that the universe is responding to your vibration and that you have choices. You can feel free or you can feel not free. Now, we put free there instead of up there because you're using the word here, but that's how it feels to you. You can feel free or you can feel bondage. They feel the same to you. Intellectually, they don't. But when you use the word free, your vibration is in. Words don't matter.
Right,
the universe
I'm saying free, but the
universe is not responding to your word. The universe is responding to your vibration. So you say, "I want to do what I want to do. I want to be free." And the universe takes you at your vibration and says, "Well, here's some more stuff that will bind you up." So the momentum just keeps happening there. So you have to find some way of breaking from that. And we've been calling that getting out ahead of the manifestation. And you've put yourself in what we consider to be a very highly probable place to get out ahead of that vibration if you work these 2 months in a very productive way. So here are our recommendations. Don't begin keeping score of how fast the time is going.
It's really hard not to. It's really hard. It is.
But not fair. We threw you out for less. In other words, that is a statement of anti-freedom, isn't it?
Yes.
So cut it out.
How?
By deciding that you don't want to add momentum to that. Do you really want to add momentum to the notion that it's hard?
No, I
Then
don't.
don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that it's hard. Say something like, law of attraction will help me. And I'm going to get the hang of this. And I'm getting better and better at it. Those are better choices, aren't they? And what you just did is what Esther's been finding herself doing. Because that is better than perpetuating momentum.
Right.
Until she bites her own hand and says it out loud anyway. It's really stopping the unwanted momentum. And you're more than halfway there because you now feel what the unwanted momentum is, you see. And that's the best step. So we've been talking about going to bed at night, and that would be a very good plan for you. As you put yourself in your bed, just bask in the delicious awareness that when you wake up in the morning, it's all about what you've chosen. And sort of get that feeling of butterflies flowing as you realize that you get to choose. You get to choose how you're going to spend the day. Now, you're here. You have a lot of freedom in these days that you are together, that we are all together, and yet you chose to come to this meeting. There's a beach out there that's calling, and a pool out there that's calling, and free drinks flowing everywhere. And yet you chose to be here. And we want your choice to have been because you think that there is something here that is good feeling to you. You get to choose it all. I'm choosing it all. I'm choosing every bit of it. I'm choosing 2 months off, or I could choose otherwise. I'm choosing to extend it. I'm choosing to shorten it. I have all of these choices. I have so many choices. One of the processes that we offered early on, we encouraged people to put $100 in their pocket or in their handbag or wallet. And don't spend it, but just notice how many times in a day that you could. I could have that, I could have that, I could have that. I could buy that, I could eat there. I could buy one of those shoes. I could do that, I could do that, I could do that, I could do that. Because every time you acknowledge that you have the wherewithal to do something wanted, you perpetuate more momentum. Until before you know it, you have enough financial momentum going that it has to break loose in all kinds of manifestational impulses, you see. And this is the same thing. So you either find a process that helps you to focus, or you meditate, which is a process that quiets your mind.
Not mine. It doesn't quiet my mind.
Well, it's true.
It's just that I don't know what to do about it.
And the reason that I don't know what to do about it, it's just momentum, isn't it? So we know that you have the ability to make a statement that won't get you kicked out of the chair, and we're giving you about 60 seconds to figure one out.
So
why perpetuate unwanted momentum, really? Do you want to be a participant in perpetuating unwanted momentum? We don't want to be a sounding board for your complaints.
So I could just quit my job, and then I would be free of my job.
Yeah, and eventually poor.
Yes.
I don't think that's a very good idea, do you?
No, but it seems better than staying in my job.
But the question is, does it have to happen right now? Is your feeling of lack of freedom so acute that you have to spin off? Are you really falling out of an airplane at 10,000 feet with no parachute and you just have to hang on, it'll be over? Or can you maintain some of the status quo while you improve your vibration? Does it really have to be so cut and dried? Do you have the ability to focus, or do you not? That's our question to you.
Let's
Do you have
hope
the
so.
ability? Do you have the ability to find another job that you like better?
I don't want another job.
Because I believe that all work is bondage, but that's just nutty. All work is not bondage.
Okay. But I feel like that if I don't focus, if I choose not to focus, or that I'm still willing to jump out of the plane without a parachute.
Yeah, and then hang on, it'll be over soon.
What's that mean?
That means the inevitable consequence of momentum always ensues.
Mm-hmm.
That means whatever vibration you've got going on, if you're unwilling to make a change in the momentum you've got going on, it's going to manifest into bigger and bigger things that harmonize with the vibration that you've got going on. In other words, you're not going to feel more free. You're going to feel less free with these statements. It means you cannot get there from there. You got to get out ahead of it somewhere. And we are so appreciating your willingness to play with us, because everybody's got some of those stuck places where your awareness of reality is so pervasive that it dominates your vibration. And so you want some intervening power to just lift you up into a higher vibration. And we say your vortex is that intervening power that is already in a higher vibration. The source within you is that intervening power that is already in a higher vibration. You've just got to look for little ways to hook into it, one thought at a time, one feeling of freedom at a time. The analogy that we offered about Esther's pond, with the sucking from the pond and going into the filter, and then the filter attempting to put it back into the pond, but it wouldn't go, is sort of like what's going on. And even though they were trying to dig it out, and they were trying to pry it out, and they were trying to poke it out, it was just more effort. It was just easier to lay new pipes, you see. So much easier to lay new pipes. There's no virtue in digging it all out or getting to the bottom of anything. Just lay new pipes. So what statements might you say that would take you in a more direct route to the outcome that you want? Because right now, and maybe we have perpetuated it a little bit, but you're sort of defensive about it. It's like, I don't want to work, and I don't think I should have to work, and it's not fun for me to work, and I really don't want to do that. And in fact, I've put everything in one basket. I don't want to do anything that anybody else wants me to do. I've decided, because I'm so fed up with this, that I am going to be, no matter what anybody says, an uncooperative component. I'm going to be an uncooperative component. I'm not going to cooperate with anything. I'm not going to cooperate. I'm just going to stand here in my stubbornness. And we say, no, you're not. You're not going to stand still. You're gathering momentum. You're gathering momentum. And after a while, the momentum is strong enough that it usually inspires you or motivates you, as it prods you from behind, into thinking more about what you do want. So can you find a statement that feels like freedom, that really feels like freedom? Something you already believe about your life that feels like freedom. Can you find something like that?
I know I have
too much.
Choices.
Something simpler. Something simpler. I came to Cancun.
I can play today. I can play today.
Yeah. Give us something more. Try to get some momentum going. You see what we're getting at here? There's really no point in, when you're in that stuck place, trying to effort your way into a higher vibration. It's a waste of your time. It's not a waste of our time, because we are timeless, and we're not annoyed about it, because we understand the power of your wanting, and we're rooting for you. But sometimes it's just good to just let it go. Sometimes it's good to just say, all right, I've done step one. I've told the universe what I want. I'm assuming, Abraham, that all of that stuff is in my vortex, and that I will be guided to it. And now I'm just going to do as much chilling and as much being easy about myself, and as little efforting as I can, because it's the effort that you don't want to make. We're on the really same wavelength on that. You don't want to effort your way into creating anything, and we don't want you to effort your way there either. We want you to find the vibration that then inspires it. But you have to use focus, and maybe it isn't appropriate to try to separate the word focus from effort, because it does take some determination to focus, but that's what it requires. I'm going to focus myself into a better feeling place. I'm just going to put myself in a place where I feel more free.
So if I just decide to do whatever I want in these days that I have ahead of me,
we don't see any other options, do you?
Well, no, but if I...
haven't you already set yourself up from that? Isn't there already some momentum going? I did really good. I've put myself in a place where that is the momentum. Nobody is demanding anything of me. Nobody's demanding anything of me. Look at me. Nobody's demanding anything of me right now. I did really good. I've put myself in a place where there are no outside demands. I'm getting to choose everything. I choose whether I raise my hand. I choose whether I go to the pool. I choose whether I take a nap. I choose whether I go find somebody to talk with. I choose whether I get into the ocean. I choose whether I go tour. I choose whether I spend some money. I choose whether I don't. I'm choosing everything right here and now. I choose whether I dialogue. I choose whether I stay by myself. I'm in a place of total choices. Choices, choices, choices. And isn't that the epitome of freedom? I'm choosing, I'm choosing, I'm choosing, I'm choosing, I'm choosing, I'm choosing. I'm so free, I can choose grids that don't feel good. I'm so free, I can choose grids that feel better. I'm choosing. Didn't you lay some new pipes there? You laid some new pipes there. I'm choosing. I have several days here, and then I have 2 more months of choices. Look at me. I've put myself in a place. I've already got momentum about that going. And I don't have to justify it. You see, that's what's going on with you. You're trying to defend your quirky position because there are people that are standing back aghast. Really? Really? You don't seem prepared for that. You don't have to explain nothing to nobody. Just keep making the choices that feel best to you. And the universe will keep adding to that momentum. So did you feel momentum increase here? So now the momentum is increased. So now see if you can make a statement about working that doesn't throw you off in the bushes. Just see if you can find one.
I can choose whether to go back to work or not.
Now that's a little too head on, but eventually I'll know what to do. How's that? That felt softer. Eventually I'll know what to do. And I sure don't have to decide today. I've carved out a whole lot of leeway. I don't have to figure this out today. So that's all open. That's all new pipes. That's all new pipes. And in the moment that you think a thought or make one of those old statements that is pipe clogging, you're going to feel it. And as soon as that happens, that's when you want to stop that momentum by remembering this other momentum.
Yes.
That's the work.
Yes.
That's the work.
Thank you.
Yeah. Very good. Just stand if you think, yes.